And welcome back. Getting to the finishing point on both the left and right elevators here. This video is going to basically just go over the leading edges of both, rolling both leading edges with the use of a broom, similar to how you formed the leading edge of the rudder. So just going through match drilling the holes to the broom and then clecoing and rolling the broom handle to form that leading edge. And so the handle itself is just to kind of get the initial curvature, and then I just kind of use brute force to form the remaining curve of the leading skin there. And you set it up so that the top skin overlaps the bottom skin. And so one of the things you have to do is you have to put a break on the top skin, and that's to try to help prevent pillowing in between the rivet points. And this attempt, the left elevator, when I got everything put together, it was okay. It wasn't as good as I would like to have had. There are portions of the skin where it does pillow out just a little bit, but it's the leading edge of the elevator, so I think I'm okay with it. If I need to redo it, I'll find out later on when I start to assemble it to the horizontal stabilizer, and it's just a matter of undoing the pop rivets and then rebending the skins there. On the right elevator, and you'll see me later in the video, I actually, instead of using the roller device that I have to put a break on the skin, I actually used the clamp that I have that has basically two 4-inch blades of flat metal, and you clamp it down on the skin, and you can use that to fold essentially the skin. And so you just break it slightly with that, and it provides a much more drastic break. But that, along with the use of tape on the right elevator, actually made it come out much better. There was hardly any pillowing between rivets, and a lot of the majority of the skin and the seam was flush along. So that's one thing that if you're watching this, getting ready to do this step, I would recommend not just using the roller to make a slight crease, but I would recommend using flat metal clamps that you can actually make a break in the skin, just so it's noticeable. Nothing major. You don't want to overdo it, obviously, but just enough to actually make it look like an actual break, not just almost. So, and then also the other thing is using the tape. I wish I had done that on the left elevator, this one here, the first attempt. I think that helps tremendously as well. As you're rolling it, the clecos obviously have their stress point, but if you hold the tape there also, that it holds the skin to form, and I think it shapes it much better. And like I said, using both methods, using the flat metal clamp style to make the breaks on the top skin, and using the tape, I think made it a much better mating surface. I would highly recommend going that route. So this is working on the right elevator, and as you can see here, like I just discussed, using the tape in between the clecos. And like I said, this is the bottom skin, so you don't have to worry about putting a break on the bottom skin leading edge of the skin there. But I did still apply the tape just to try to make it a flush surface there, and it's not too much more work. It's just a matter of putting it in place in between the clecos, and then as I said before, just making sure the holes are all matched up and using clecos to hold the tube. So one thing that I did find out is that I should have cut down the handle, because I kept running into the bracket that will bolt the two halves together, and so I couldn't quite get as good of a twist as I would like to have. Everything turned out okay, so hindsight being 20/20, but I do think that it would have been easier in a more uniform twist or bend of the shaping of the metal there if it wasn't running into that bracket. So you just work the right skin just as you did the left. Take the piece of metal and cleco it to the skins and tape it in place, and then just roll it around the broom handle, and then use, kind of finesse the rest of the shaping. You still want to be very careful not to crease along the frame, and that's why as I'm applying pressure with my hands, I'm more pushing up with my thumbs toward the top, so as not to put a downward force on the skin around the spar there, the forward spar. You want to minimize any kind of creasing along that spar, because it can lead to vibrational issues later on down the road, where you can start developing cracks if you put a crease there. So one of the methods it talks to is, instead of using the roller to shape the top or the skin that's on top, shape the skin that's on the table and roll into the table, basically, so that you aren't putting a pressure on the skin around that spar. But like I said, this case, I just made sure that I pressed up on the skin as I was folding it and forming it, to try to minimize the amount of stress that I'm placing on the skin at that the rib or the spar point. So my dad came in and was showing him what I was doing and how I was doing it, and had him help me a little bit, and trying to get the family more involved. And this was a great opportunity to kind of get him involved. He likes to come out and see the shop. So anyway, I'm going to let this video run out here. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.